Hello my friends, how are you? Today I'm talking about the ever increasing circles of events that are going to be upon us and are upon us now. I'll tell you all about it on the other side. So in an update from the emissaries, they said that we are starting to see these big explosions of energy. Okay, that's what they said, big explosions of energy. And they said they're going to manifest in these ever expanding, ever increasing circles of exposing what's going on. What they were saying was that it's like one thing is going to then be linked to something else, which is then going to be linked to something else. And it's kind of like we're going to start to see the spider's web that has been trapping us in the dark, but now it's in the light. And they kind of give me the image, you know, in the morning when there's a dew, and not that kind, like the dew with the mist, yeah, and it lands on a spider's web and you can see the whole web, whereas normally you can't see the web, but when there's a dew on it, you can. Reminds me of a joke, an old joke, very old joke, about, did you hear about the woman who woke up in a field with a heavy dew on her? And anyway, so we're going to see, that always makes me laugh, that one. We're going to see these ever expanding circles of like stuff that's linked. Now, for example, there's a certain list of a man who supposedly unlifed himself, yeah, in prison, which he didn't apparently. But anyway, the list of all of that information, you know, the flight lists and stuff like that. I mean, they keep saying it's just the flight logs, but I think it's more than that. I think there's a lot more information there. All of that court case. That's got tentacles and tendrils that are going to reach out to big places. I heard that Mr. Bill, who opens and closes gates, he's been lobbying desperately with as much money as he possibly can so that didn't happen. Damn, Kash Patel has been nominated to be the leader of FBI. What's interesting about Kash Patel is, you probably know this, is that he was one of the people who would quote the 17th letter of the alphabet. He would quote them. And now he's the head of the group that supposedly, well, not just the FBI, it's like the smaller brother of the CIA. The CIA is really the seat of all of the conspiracies, isn't it? The creation of the conspiracies. So I said to the emissaries, will this herald, nice word, eh? Will this herald the end of the baddies? And they said, no, it won't. Because they said, well, the baddies will never go away. In this plane upon which we reside, the baddies, there's always got to be bad. Like, that's the yin. If you look at yin and yang, there's always a bit of black inside of the white. There's got to be. However, one of them is all black with a little bit of white. That's where we've been. And the other one is all white with a little bit of black. That's where we're going. And so they said that the baddies will never go away. But, and I'm going to come to the downfall bit, but they said what will happen as we proceed through this enlightening process is that the baddies will disappear. They'll go off the radar. And they said there would truly become a secret society, and it'll be very small. And they said they won't be active either. They will be only active in making plans, not acting on plans, just making them. Like review time. What did we do wrong? You know, how could we do that better the next time? How can we avoid the Great Awakening from happening? Well, don't create a plandemic. That's a good one for a starter. Scratch that one off. Keep people happy. You know, and that's the secret. The secret of control is not to make people really fearful and angry and all of that. Keep them happy. Happy people just potter on and do the stuff. And I think that's where they've got it all upside down. They think that to control us, they have to keep us in fear, poison us, blah, blah, blah. That only made it worse. That's just made it worse. We'll send, a pretend virus throughout, and that'll sort them out. No, it just woke everybody up because you did such a shit job at it. And that's what they're very good at. What I've noticed is that they have a very fixed remit. Like, this is what we do. This is what baddies do. This is what we do. We're going to keep doing that. And they do it really badly. It's not that they do it... I mean, nobody could say that the pandemic was done badly. It was done fantastically well. But too many loose ends. I watched the series Lost. Like, we watched the whole thing. And then afterwards, because we didn't understand what had happened, then my wife started to get these overview of Lost, so you understood what was going on. And this guy, right at the beginning, said, I am a writer. I'm a screenwriter. I'm a script writer. And he said, and I watched the first blah, blah, blah amount of episodes of Lost. And then I stopped watching it. And he said, and I stopped watching it because I knew that they would never be able to tie all the loose ends that they were leaving. It was going to be impossible. And that was just after the first season or whatever. Well, it's exactly the same with the pandemic. They were never going to be able to tie these ends up. There are too many ends, too many things going on. And that's their downfall, is that they think big, they do big, but they just have no attention to detail. I think that's the key. No attention. They're very brutish. So it's kind of like, let's sledgehammer it. That's kind of how they are. And, David Icke talks about the totalitarian tiptoe. And yet, I think before it was tiptoe-ish. It's been tiptoe-ish, but not lately. Not since the pandemic. It's been sledgehammer-ish. And it's done nothing but wake people up. I don't know what you think. That's just what I see. People are just going, what is going on? What is going on? So they said, the emissary said, that the fall of the baddies, because there's a big structure that's going to crumble. They said it will be noisy and messy. Prepare for it to be noisy and messy, because when it falls, it's going to fall big, just like the Twin Towers. Noisy and messy, with loads of loose ends not tied up. Except for the passports. The passports tied up a lot of ends when there was molten metal and pulverised concrete, but the passports were there, just slightly scorched, but readable. So then I asked him, I said, look, we're clearly going through this split, this ascension, we're moving up to 5D. Will the baddies still be in 5D? And they said, the issue that you're having is using these names, 3D, 5D. So I know we understand that you use those kind of terms here, but that's not really what it is. They said, we would rather say that it's just a shift. It's a shift, energetic shift. And so I asked, are we going to go somewhere else? Will we go somewhere else? And they said, in essence, it'll be the same. In essence, it's this dimension that we'll be shifting to. But they did suggest that there was a shift. But they said, even in the dimension that we shift to, because it's going to be pretty much the same, we may not even notice any difference, right? It may look exactly the same, just with less of those annoying beings. And they said, even there, the dark will exist. Even when we're in the very brightest period, the dark will exist. They said, just think about it like any room, no matter how bright the lights are, there are always going to be bits of shadow. You can't avoid it. When you're in the light, there's shadow. So they said, the baddies will never go away, but they'll just calm themselves down. But everyone will have the option of joining them if they want, if that's in their plan. But they won't affect us like they have been affecting us now. So there you are. That's kind of the overview of what's going to happen. Noisy, crumbling mess, making a lot of noise as they go down. Well, it's like little children, aren't they? They're going to make a lot of noise, going to be stamping their feet, having a little bit of a raji, as we used to say in the Northeast, getting a raj on, and then all nice, and they'll disappear. Although they won't be gone, they'll just disappear. So there you are. That's what's about to happen. When? I have no idea. How long it's going to take to happen? No idea. But things are moving quickly. I love you all, and I'll speak to you all later. Bye-bye.